Quantitative analysis aims at determining the quantity in terms of moles or other measurements with direct relationship to mole. Volumetric analysis is a powerful technique in quantitative analysis, and it mostly employs titrometric techniques, or simply referred as titration, to determine the unknown concentration of a given substance. The basic component and apparatus of a titration include the titrant, which is filled in the burette, the titrand, measured by pipette and added to conical flask, and an indicator where applicable. Titrations with no suitable indicator are followed by measuring the change in pH, temperature, conductivity, etc. When you are not sure of the color change of the indicator in a titration, add 1 drop of the indicator to the titrant, which is the acid in this video, and titrant, which is the base, and use the color as your reference. Make sure the burette tap is tight, and then fill the titrant in the burette. Fill the burette not necessarily to 0, allow the titrant on the wall to settle, and record the initial burette reading. After filling the burette, use a pipette to withdraw and measure the titrand. Remember, the bottom of the meniscus should touch the volume mark of the pipette. And record the volume to 2 decimal places. Transfer the titrand to the flask, and do not blow the last drop of liquid that remains in the pipette. This is catered for in the volume of the pipette, and should never be put in the flask. Add 2 to 3 drops of the indicator to the titrand, and gently shake to mix. Perform the titration by slowly adding the titrant from the burette to the conical flask. Gently shake the flask as you add. A white sheet of paper is placed at the bottom side of the flask. This improves visibility and quick noticing of a color change. The acid from the burette reacts with the base every time you add, until all the base reacts, after which the next drop you add makes the solution in the flask acidic. This is called the endpoint, and it is marked by a color change. Your hand should be on the tap and the eyes on the flask all the time, and close the burette immediately when you observe a color change. Record the final burette reading. The first run is a trial one, and it is used to estimate the volume of acid required to neutralize the base. Repeat the experiment 2 or 3 times, and use the average value. Refer to the notes for calculations.